welcome along to my video. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the different steps you can take whilst trying to authenticate classic Chanel handbags. I have been reselling Chanel now for about 10 years, and so I've had my fair few come through, and to be honest it's getting pretty scary to see how many amazing super fakes are coming through. So if you hang around till the end of the video, I'll tell you my almost fail-safe way of making sure the bag is authentic. Guys, sit back, relax, enjoy the video and comment below with your favourite Chanel purchase. The first place to head when you're authenticating a Chanel at home, I would say, would definitely be the serial code and the authenticity card. If a bag doesn't come with an authenticity card, this doesn't necessarily mean it is not authentic. It could have been lost, but if you are buying one from new, I would always recommend just keeping hold of it. Now, these cards, they have absolutely no kind of pearlescence when you move them. Don't know if that's showing up in the light, but some of the fake cards, they can't quite get this right, and there is a pearlescence. And also you can just about, when I move this CC, you can see a tiny CC in that hologram there. Now this code number should match up with the code on the inside of the bag, and these are always placed in a really nice awkward positions inside. I find the easiest way sometimes to read them is actually just to get my phone camera, stick it down on the inside of the bag and take a quick snap. This one I'm very lucky in that it actually has pull-out lining and the code is just there. Now these were started around the 1980s or mid-1980s, so older vintage bags won't necessarily have those serial numbers in them, but what I will do is link below a list so you can actually tell the year that your bag was made from the serial code. And various different years have different attributes. So for example, the one might be sans serif or serif, the zeros will have strike throughs or no strike throughs, there'll be gold glitter, there'll be 2 Chanel logos above, or there's all sorts of different options for the serial code, and that will help you determine the year of your bag. Also, there are slice throughs on all of the authentic Chanel serial codes inside the bags on the stickers, because what that does is prevent transfer. So if you actually try and get that serial sticker off and put it into a fake one, it does actually slice in half. Now also, just because a bag does not have a serial code inside it, a serial sticker inside it, doesn't necessarily mean it's not authentic. It could have been picked off, it could have been rubbed off, and that is where authentication suddenly becomes a little bit more difficult, because you can actually call Chanel and read out the serial code and they would be able to track exactly where that bag was bought. It would be able to tell you the design and the hardware and everything just from that serial code. So we have a little bit more of a complication when that is no longer there. So moving on from the serial number and authenticity card, I thought we might have a little look at the hardware. So here in front of me, as you can see, I have a silver hardware Chanel, and one of the basic things you want to look out for is the fact that the right hand C crosses at the top and at the bottom Now if we open this up, you'll find that inside you have a Chanel made in, so made in Paris, made in Italy, wherever, and this colour stamping will always match the same colour as the hardware. One little thing I do want to clear up right now is I have actually seen places on the internet talking about the fact that if it is in gold hardware you won't have a made in Paris stamp here. I don't believe that to be accurate. I have seen authentic Chanels with that stamping in that location in gold hardware. The other thing that you want to look out for in the hardware is this stamping at the back there. It does say Chanel Paris, and an area that I've seen that quite often be wrong is actually that the fakers can't quite get a light enough touch, so sometimes those are embossed too heavily on fake bags. Now moving further down, you can see that we have a popper just there, and that will say the brand and the location. So this one again says Chanel Paris. Frustratingly, I did actually sell the gold version of this bag just a few days ago because I actually wanted to talk about some of the features of the gold Chanel bag because some of the hardwares do differ slightly from the silver. Basically, there has been a lot of controversy about hallmarking, and what that means is basically some of the gold hardware Chanel bags, you will see that there are little hallmarks on the corners of the CC. That happened on gold Chanel bags up until around mid-2008, and the location of the hallmark is also significant in determining the year that the bag was made. So if your bag is in gold hardware but it doesn't have hallmarking, it does not mean that is not authentic. It might have just been made after that time period. This is because after that time period, Chanel used gold plating rather than 24 karat gold for the bags. And also another caveat is that if the bag was made in Italy, again, you may well not see hallmarking on there as well. So essentially, if a bag is in gold and it doesn't have a hallmark, that does not determine that it is not a genuine Chanel bag. Now, when we're also looking at the CC, there is a variety of different styles of this. It can be more matte, more shiny, it can be more rounded, or it can be more flat. There is so many different styles of CC for the front logo. And if we have another look inside, we can also see the different types of screws. Now in the back of this one, you can see that there is flat screws, and I thought I'd use this one to show you the hex screws. They're the two different types of screws that Chanel use in their bags, so do watch out for those as well. Another thing to look out for on the Chanel bags is the weight and length of the chain. Now I just kind of measure this on myself, but I'll put it on and you can have a look. The weight, it is got quite a nice weight to it, it's not too light, and when you wear it long, the crossbody length does actually sit quite high up the body, so that's just something to look out for. You can actually have extra links put on in your bag, so it could well be that the person before was a bit taller and wanted some extra links put on, but as standard, that is how they come. Now another really nice little check is this zipper on the inside. For me, this is one of the most pointless pockets on the bag. I'm sure they do serve some sort of purpose, but anyway, what you can do is use your serial number to check the age of your bag and then work out which zipper is appropriate for that age bag and make sure that they correspond. And Chanel do use a variety of different zippers. Again, I can link that in the full blog down below. Now finally, I wanted to have a little look at the leather and the quality of it and compare that to what you might find on a fake. Now when I turn this around, you can see that there is a bit of puffiness, but it's quite flat to the bag. A lot of fakes you'll find that because the stitch count is a bit lower and the finish isn't such good quality, that actually you'll see that there's quite a lot of puffiness in the leather. In fact, you've got about 10 stitches per inch going along there. And if we open it up and look inside, you will also find that you can, and this is going to look horrible on camera, but on the authentic Chanel bags, you can actually pull out, I don't want to do it all in totally, but you can in fact pull out the entire leather lining. So having looked all around the bag and picked out my favourite features for authentication, it still can be incredibly difficult to spot the difference between an authentic bag and a super fake. And we'll get on to potentially at a later date why it is important to buy authentic goods, namely the fact that they're produced humanely and they have value when you purchase them, and it's important to have integrity, I believe, in your purchases, but that is for another day. Today I'm also going to show you exactly how we can authenticate with near guarantee that this is an authentic piece, because as I say, the super fakes are incredible now, and that is that we use an entropy device. Now the entropy device takes microscopic pictures of various details of the Chanel bags, Louis Vuitton. They do, I believe, the top 15 designers that are mostly faked. And essentially what that does is enable us to, at a microscopic level, test whether or not this bag is authentic. So this particular piece comes without an authenticity card. Not that that is, as we know, determinant or not of whether it is authentic. It does give me the confidence to sell this with an entropy certificate to say that it is 100% authentic. So entropy was actually first developed to eradicate fakes in the art market, and what they found was that fakers couldn't fake at the microscopic level, and it's exactly the same with designer handbags. And essentially, if you would like us to authenticate any bags that you have, please do feel free to get in contact with me. I'll leave the contact details below in the description. We would charge £30 for each authentication. We ourselves get charged by entropy, so we'd be passing on that charge as well as a small labour charge as well. Guys, if you found this interesting, hit the thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Let me know what else you want me to authenticate. And yeah, great to chat with you today, and see you next time. Bye.